Hi and welcome, this is Silver Linings. My name is Vanessa. Today I'm guiding you through a yin yoga sequence designed to open your back, your hips, to lengthen your hamstrings and release the tension from your shoulders. If you have a bolster at home or a couple of bricks, perhaps a cushion, a couple of books, please feel free to keep quite a lot of equipment with you so you can feel fully supported when we go into our long held stretches. Today we begin with a breathing practice, so you can come into any comfortable seated position. You could perhaps sit on a couple of bricks. Then we proceed into long held stretches that will help our body calm, distress, and find a nice state of relaxation. So let's make a good start into any comfortable position you like. Cross your legs, maybe bring your hands on top of your knees, and go ahead, lengthen through your spine. You can close your eyes if you feel comfortable, or you can keep them softly open. And begin to tune into your breath. So noticing how your breath is traveling through your body. Where is your breath traveling more easily? Where your body is holding any sense of rigidity. And each time you exhale, allow your shoulders to soften, allow your facial muscles to release. When you feel ready, bring one hand on your chest, one on your belly, and we begin exploring coherent breathing. We will breathe in for about 5-6 seconds and exhale for 5-6 seconds as a way to create more concentration and focus in our mind and slow down our body. Slow down especially our breath, but also our heart rate. So go ahead and take a full exhalation through your nose. Empty your lungs completely. And then take a slow inhalation through your nose. And again, exhale completely through your nose. And breathe in to expand your belly and your chest. Last one, exhale completely. And we begin. Breathe in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe out for 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in through your nose. 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in. 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now continue in your own time, mentally counting up until 5, or if you wish, up until 6. Giving yourself all the time to fully fill your lungs and fully empty your lungs. If that counting doesn't work, you can always shift to 4 seconds. Try and make sure there is symmetry between your inhalation and exhalation. We will practice this for 1 more minute. Your spine is elongated and your facial muscles are relaxed. And now go ahead and take one last round. And once you have finished exhaling completely through your nose, come back to your natural breath. You might want to release your hands onto your knees. Give yourself a moment to notice if you can feel any shift. Anything has changed in this brief amount of time just because you're focusing on your breath and you're intentionally slowing it down. When you're ready, you can blink open your eyes, take a couple of shoulder rolls just to get back into your body. And we begin our first yin yoga position today. This is going to be butterfly pose, a great way to open our groin, potentially stretch our back and our glutes as well. So go ahead and find your feet together and your knees apart. And you want to give yourself quite a lot of space between your heels and your sit bones. Before we get into the full length stretch, catch your ankles and gently puff the chest forward, open your collarbones wide, and then extend around your back, releasing your head. And just twice more like this. Breathe in, chest pushes forward. Exhale around your back. One last time, breathe in, open. Exhale around. And then lengthen your spine and allow your upper body to fold. Your hands can rest on the floor, on your feet. You can drop the head. Because we're going to be here for the next 3 minutes, I invite you, if you have a bolster or a cushion, to consider if this could be useful to place your cushion or your bolster on your feet so that you can support your head, your forearms. You could also choose a different position for your bolster. This could be a little bit more a support for your belly when you fold forward. If your knees are sensitive and you got blocks or books, you could also use your blocks to stop the descent of your knees. So place your blocks on the side of your thighs, and this is going to allow your knees to just stop in the right place. So find the best solution for you to rest your head. And if you're new to yin, very important to notice the stretches we take are long duration, but a little smaller intensity compared to other yoga practices. So I invite you to stay always into a 60-80% of sensations. Nothing should feel painful. You will feel stretch, but it's a sustainable stretch. And your breath is going to tell you when you're pushing too hard or when you are into your zone. So make sure your breath is always smooth. It is fluid and deep, exactly as the breath we just practiced at the beginning. So find your stillness and progressively invite your body to relax. Tension to drop out of your shoulders. Let your knees relax completely. So progressively you're switching off any muscular tension. You're only surrendering to gravity without having to pull, to force, to push. Allow each out breath to be a moment of release of tension, release of stress, any worries you might have today. Everything can pass, everything can release just because you are still and fully surrendering to this pose. And you also want to maintain a sense of curiosity. Notice how the sensation might change, might fluctuate as you stay in the pose. They might become stronger, they might become more gentle, they might change in body part. So we have one last minute to stay. Allow your head to become heavier, all your leg muscles to switch off. Very gently begin to roll all the way up. Give yourself time to release your legs in front of you. Notice any sensations in this moment of release of the pose. And when you feel ready to join me, move into your hands and knees position. So we will have a shorter stretch for your shoulders. before we continue into our hips. So find your hands under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. And go ahead and open your left arm up to the sky. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, thread your left arm under the right. Let your left shoulder find the floor and move your head slightly forward. Your tailbone is long and your hips want to be right on top of your knees. And you can adjust your right hand in a position that feels good for you. Because we're going to be here for 1 minute, in case you feel uncomfortable on your shoulders and you have a cushion or a block or a brick, you could see if resting your head on your brick, it is easier for you today. So only if this feels like a good idea, you can do it. Otherwise, stay as you are on the floor. Maybe close your eyes. And see if you can release as much as possible the weight of your body. The only active part could be maybe your right hand pushing into the floor to help your chest twist a bit more to the ceiling. This is the great pose to open the upper back, the space between the shoulder blades. Again, check in with your breath. Is it still flowing in a fluid way, in an even way, or is your breath becoming a bit faster? And if that's the case, could you take your time to slowly fill your lungs on the inhale and slowly empty your lungs on the exhale. Gently press the floor away, find your way to come back into center. And give yourself a moment to reset. Notice the difference between right and left shoulder. We take the same thing on the other side. So we open up through the right arm. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, thread your arm under the other shoulder. Once your shoulders finds the floor, allow your head to slide slightly forward so your hips maintain the alignment with the knees. Again, if your neck is uncomfortable, too far away from the floor, you could have a soft cushion or a thin block to rest your head. And then as you settle, release your head completely, release your neck. And maybe push gently into the left hand and see if you can spin the chest a bit more towards the ceiling. You could close your eyes, try to keep your shoulders away from your ears so your neck is elongated. And notice again any sensations in your upper back, in your lower back. If you feel any tension in your body, take your time to enjoy a very slow exhalation. And take a very last breath where you are. As you exhale, press yourself back to center, reset for a moment, and then find your way to come laying down onto your back. We're going to move on into a figure of four. We will then progress in next sessions with more intense stretches for the hips, but today we begin and check how the first position feels for us. So come laying all the way down onto your back, and then bring your left leg up to the sky, flex your left foot, and pop your left ankle on top of your right thigh. Now, someone might already feel some stretch here, so you can stay as you are, or you can pull your knee towards your chest and thread your fingertips catching the back of your thigh. Stay there. As you breathe in, prepare, exhale, draw your thigh closer to you, and then allow your legs to relax where they are. So only keep the action of your hands to pull the thigh closer to you. Lengthen through your tailbone and release completely the weight of your shoulders. If you want something in between, maybe this is too much, but foot on the floor is not enough. What you could also do is to set a couple of bricks or just one in front of you and have your right foot on top of the bricks. Shift your hips closer to your little tower or props, and this is gonna intensify ever so slightly the position. So choose if you like to catch the thigh or if you like to keep your foot on the floor on your bricks. And maybe close your eyes and again begin to notice what you feel at the level of the hips. Making sure the sensation is not 100% in terms of intensity, it's more a 60-80%. So the body feels safe to let go of the muscular tension, and you can notice that slowly your thighs could come closer to you jaw, throat, facial muscles are relaxed. The foot which is lifted is completely floppy. And again, you might feel the stretch in many different places depending on where your stiffness is today. So you might feel it in your back, you might feel it in your groin, you might feel it on the outside of your glutes. You will notice in yin, the sensation of stretch can change a lot based on when we are tighter each day. Let's take about 3-5 more slow breaths. Maybe noticing that your legs already become a little bit more supple as you pull the thigh closer to you. Neck is relaxed, collarbones are wide. And then nice and easy, please let go of the grip. Release your legs on the floor. And if it feels good, take a moment just to stretch them into a small Shavasana moment. Give yourself the time to notice any difference between your left hip to the right. And when you're ready to swap side, you could bring your left foot on the floor or reach your right leg up. Flex your right foot, and again, cross your right ankle on top of your left thigh, pull the right knee forward. That's your option one. If you need a bit more, step your left foot on your bricks and maybe shift the hips a little bit further forward. Or you could interlock your fingers and catch your thigh. Let your foot, which is lifted, be floppy. Breathe in and exhale, pull your thigh towards you with the strength of your arms. As you do that, the back of your neck is long. Your eyes can close or be soft. And now try and consciously relax your legs. The only part of your body which is active are your arms. Notice how you are breathing right now. Is your breath becoming a bit shorter? Can you still send your breath in your belly? Can you still create that coherency between the inhalation and exhalation? And again, notice the sensations you're feeling right now. Is it the same amount of stretch you had on the first side? Does this hip feel slightly different? Could you release some of the tension in your face, in your throat, in your shoulders? Could you find a deeper sense of ease in your body? Stay here for one last minute. Notice if already your muscles feel a bit more soft, a bit more supple. If that's the case, do you need to pull a little bit more towards you to stay into the 60-80% range? When you're ready, begin to let go of the grip or feel free to move your blocks away. And again, release your legs on the floor, one by one. And notice what you're feeling. Find your stillness. This is called the rebound of the chi. So in yin yoga, based on traditional Chinese medicine, we notice how when we release the pose, the energy, chi flows back in the tissues. So you might feel some tingling, some lightness, some sparkling sensations at the level of the hips perhaps. Take your time to slowly find your way back into seated. So you might want to take your feet on the floor again and roll to one side. And we come into our last position today, which is a complete release into forward fold, our caterpillar. We will be there for 5 good minutes. So caterpillar position is a forward fold. You can keep your feet slightly apart, your knees are softly bent, and you're trying to release your upper body over to your legs in a very passive way. Now, if your knees struggle with being straight, that's absolutely fine. I invite you to use your blocks to pop them under your knees, so the back of your knees can rest on your blocks. And as you fold forward, you might also enjoy placing cushions or extra props you might have at home in between your legs. That's option one. So your belly can fold over, your head can drop. You could also choose to have your bolster maybe horizontally. If you're not using your blocks in this way, another lovely solution is to have the blocks at the end of your space and then create a little slope. So part of the bolster is supported, the rest is on the floor, and you might really find it useful to release your belly on top and to release your head completely. So whatever you want to use your props to make your forward fold more easeful, I invite you now to maintain stillness for the next 5 minutes. Your legs can rotate out or in, so we don't catch too much about the alignment. We try to achieve that sensation of length in your hamstrings and your back body, maybe the back of your neck. So wherever you are, begin to slow down your exhalation. Feel your shoulders becoming heavier. Your eyes may want to close. And if you're quite new to the practice, maybe you reached a point that was a bit too strong, you have complete permission to sit up again, take a little step back, and then try maybe a different variation. Use your props in a different way. But we are aiming for stillness. We're trying to keep our body still so that when the muscles are still, the stress of the pose, the work goes in the connective tissue. So that's what Yin Yoga is all about. Bringing the stretch not only into the muscles, but also in the joints. And so it is really necessary to breathe slowly to keep our muscles as relaxed as possible. We have 3 more minutes here. Can you completely relax your toes, your fingers, the back of your neck, your jaw? And whenever you notice your body is becoming more supple, maybe you have created a bit more space, you could move your props a little bit further away from you, or maybe take one out and then see if you can get a little deeper without forcing it, always from a place of relaxation. And the slower we breathe, the calmer we can feel in our whole body and mind. So stretching becomes particularly effective when it is accompanied by a very slow breath. So take all the time you need to breathe through your nose, to expand your belly, and then exhale through your nose. Maybe feel that your head becomes a little heavier. We have our last minute of stillness. Notice if you can let go even more of any unnecessary tension in your body, reducing stress. Letting go of any unnecessary gripping in your shoulders, in the back of your neck, in your cheeks. Now we roll back very slowly, so slow motion. Begin to walk your hands on your legs, lift yourself back and up. Feel free to move all your props out of the way for a moment and come laying down onto your back for your rebound. So allow your spine to find the floor and notice how you're feeling. Notice how does it feel to let go of that forward fold. Notice any sense of emotional release when you are out of the shape. How do you feel in your hamstrings, the back of your legs? How do you feel in your back, maybe back of your neck? It can be a very, very powerful sensation when the pose is released. Before we come into the final Shavasana, I just invite you to bring your knees into your chest, one hand on each shin, and take a gentle rock side to side. And then slowly allow your legs to relax for your final relaxation. If you have a bolster, something very interesting you could do is to pop the bolster under your knees horizontally. This is going to allow your spine to be in a constructed rest position, so in a very neutral space. And your legs can be rotating out or in, wherever you like to land. Your hands can be on the ground, or you can take one on your belly, one on your chest. And I really invite you now to integrate, to settle, absorb all the information from your body as you take this time for yourself to unwind and rest. I'm gonna let you enjoy your final relaxation as long as you want, so feel free to stay here 5 minutes, 10 minutes if you've got the time. In the meantime, I'm thanking you for practicing with me. I hope you enjoyed this yin session and your body feels much more relaxed and grounded. Thank you and see you very soon.